This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, Authentic Muay Thai Lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of Nak Muay. Go check it out. This is Jonathan over at the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast. Today is Saturday, February 5th. Just squeezing in a quick podcast with our friend who's visiting in from Concord, California, Mr. Tony De Sousa. So tune in, just squeeze in a little podcast with him, and I hope you enjoy his story. Hey, I'm here at Pu'u Muay Thai Santa Barbara with Coach Tony De Sousa from Concord, California, right?
Correct.
Yeah. What's your academy's name?
DG Combat Sports Club.
DG Combat Sports Club. Awesome, man. Thanks for stopping by. You taught like a guest class today. I know Coach Ryan can't put you on the spot. Really appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Yeah. So what's the reason, like, why do you like Muay Thai?
Muay Thai was a natural progression for me from traditional martial arts. As I found I didn't like forms and stuff like that so much, so I started to get to the point where I liked the punching, I liked the drills, I liked the contact, I liked the practical application. And Muay Thai having such a well-rounded set of techniques, it drew me there at the time. So that's kind of where things organically ended up.
Awesome. And then, so like talking about that, Tony, real quick, you did, what other martial arts did you do?
Started off just doing karate, Okinawan karate, and then I did Eagle Claw Kung Fu. I did some Wing Chun. My dad is from Hong Kong, so he had an influence on that.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And then I went and started doing kickboxing and Thai boxing after that. And it's just kind of where it went. It's like as I'd show up for all the sparring classes at the traditional martial arts places. I'd never show up for all the form classes. So I was like a really good. I was good at sparring, but I couldn't do a form to save my life.
Which in traditional martial arts is very important, yeah?
Correct.
Yeah.
Very correct.
So how long have you been doing martial arts for?
My dad started me when I was 4.
4 years old?
I am about to be 48, so I guess 44 years.
Damn, son. I'm jealous. So this is like something, do you know who Bob Carmel is? He's the head of the USMTA out in Arizona.
Yes, yeah. I am familiar with his name, but not...
He came from the same thing, the older school guys. Mm-hmm. You guys, it was like you did all these other martial arts, Wing Chun, Kung Fu, Karate, like seeing these things, then like fucking Muay Thai came around. Mm-hmm. How were you introduced to Muay Thai?
Initially, there was a gentleman in Concord who was teaching it out of the bottom of a church.
Shit. So. That's like a Muay Thai church, huh?
Exactly. It's Daniel Docto.
I know who he is. His son's up in Santa Maria, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a DJ.
And then after that... you started to get all the people from Fairtex who were coming to the Bay Area, and then Combat Fitness with George Tsutsui.
Oh, nice. They have a strong team.
Yeah.
I've ref their fights. I'm like, who are these guys? And I saw Kim Tsutsui. I'm like, oh, I know. I've kept my eye on. Whenever I see them on the roster, I'm like, I gotta be on my toes as a referee too. Yeah, those guys are fucking fast. I have to catch them. I'm like, whoa.
They're strong and durable. I learned a lot when I was over there. That's like the forefathers. It feels like it's kind of like some of the forefathers of that Bay Area, like Kanyao, and then Num, Jongsnan, and Bunkard, Jean-Claude Loyer, of course, Alex F14 Gong, and then
rest in peace.
And then George, Sir.
So then there's funny story. So Bob Carmel, do you know how he ties into Fairtex?
I do not.
So he met, I talked to him, I'm friends with him. He met Philip Wong at a freaking tennis club. He was training Muay Thai at some like fitness club, and Philip Wong saw him training. He's like, how do you know Muay Thai? And that's how some of like the Fairtex stuff started coming over to like Arizona and the West Coast. Mm-hmm. It's fucking wild. Yeah. But that's why it gives me respect for you guys, because like for me, I'm lucky. I got to just be introduced to just Muay Thai. Mm-hmm. I didn't do karate. I wanted to do karate as a kid. I wanted to do kung fu. I wanted to do kempo. I wanted to do all that stuff. My parents were like, no. So I turned 18. I was able to like get involved. But I always hear about it. I'm like, man, what would my martial arts journey have been like had it not been Muay Thai the first go around? That's why it's like I always respect you people like you who are continuing training and learning and evolving. So thank you.
No, I appreciate it. It's a different time having. You used to get your equipment off a black and white lab ad at the back of a black belt magazine.
I remember seeing those.
And we didn't have Instagram or the YouTube or any of the social media platforms that now allow us to, if we have an interest in something, techniques, or we can follow these amazing fighters. So the information was just not as readily available. So it was definitely it was definitely different. Now you can it's evolved so much. Like what you can do with Muay Thai has evolved so much between travel and access to resources of information compared to when we started.
It's freaking nuts. Just in the past like 13, 14 years, I think, like where like YouTube started popping off 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I remember I used to be able to type go on YouTube, I type Muay Thai, upload, search by upload date. There maybe be one new page of new content on there. Mm-hmm. Now it's like you can't even keep up with it. It's insane.
And then within Muay Thai itself, it's like then you're like, okay, Muay Thai. Back in the day, I was like, Muay Thai is just Muay Thai. Muay Thai is Muay Thai. Now it's like, well, what kind of Muay Thai? Muay Mat, Muay Pu'u, Muay Cow. Are you a clincher?
Yeah, are you from North Thailand?
Now you're learning all these different things, and you're learning all these different okay, this gym does more of a low kick, hard punching. This one's known for its clinch. This one's known for its beautiful technique. And that didn't even exist. It was just all Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Muay Thai boxing. And so now there's so much more layers to it that you have access to either directly through a person or through the social media platforms and just the internet. So it's a different time.
So for somebody who's been around martial arts as long as you have, so with Muay Thai, like in Thailand, have you been to Thailand? You've been to Thailand before, right? I saw you were at Simbi,
I've traveled to Thailand about half a dozen times, yeah. And I go to Phuket and Simbi.
Did you train with Cookie?
Cookie, yeah.
He's in Norway now.
Cookie's in Norway.
Yeah, he's with my friend Jürgen out there. I went and visited them in 2019.
Cookie's incredible. Everybody likes Cookie. He's worked with Liam Harrison, I believe, and a bunch of the people out of the UK as well. He's pretty incredible.
Yeah, he's married to a Norwegian over there. I'm like, dude, how the hell? I have to respect the Thai guys that moved to Norway, where it's dark like 24 days out of the year. So that shit. I'm from California.
That's a culture shock.
It's brutal, man. I feel for them.
It's an environmental shock.
I feel for them, but awesome. So like, you've seen Muay Thai progress like with more international influence and stuff like that. This is something I always like to ask people is with that, like in Lumpini now they're doing MMA. They're doing 3-round fights. They're doing this stuff. So for me personally, I don't know if it's good or bad, but what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I like all the combat sports. I kind of wish they maybe stay in their own lanes, though, and this allow MMA to be MMA and allow Muay Thai to be Muay Thai. And but I mean, it is what it is. I think.
Yeah, we'll kind of see what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I know a lot of it is motivated by financial gain. As well as expansion, they want their piece of the MMA game or they want their piece of the Muay Thai game, and it's understandable. It's not good or bad or anything. I just think that's where it's at.
Yeah, for sure, money.
But I like at Simbi, for example, like they're pretty straightforward about being Muay Thai. You can be an MMA person coming to sharpen your skills there, but you don't see too many people from Simbi doing MMA.
No.
Maybe in the future, I don't know. Sting is but they kind of keep it pretty straightforward, and I appreciate that about them,
Good, yeah. It's just like authentic. Like I was telling you, like we have an MMA school next door. Yeah. It's like we're just Muay Thai. It's not. It's like we're in martial arts industry, but we're like not in competition with each other. Same with jiu-jitsu, 2 blocks down State Street, and there's jiu-jitsu 2 blocks up State Street, and there's 4 blocks like east of here too. It's like, hey, we're all a community.
And technically, I consider myself a striking coach more than anything, just because of all the time I spent, and it just evolved. Pad work became a passion of mine. But I mean, probably the highest level of cornering and training I've done was professional MMA. When up in of all places in Vancouver, Canada. So
you guys went to Vancouver for fight?
Battlefield Fight League.
Oh, okay, is that Mohammed Hamoud? Mike Hamoud?
Yes.
Yeah, I know Mike. I've been up there. At the casino?
Yeah, at the. Oh man, I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
It was a while.
Yeah, but it's outside of Vancouver.
Dude.
Battlefield Fight League. And Carlos the Virus Galvan, he went up there and fought Cole Smith, the number one in, I think, the bantamweight at the time. He's who signed up to the UFC now, I believe.
Damn.
But it was really fun. Kokitlam. Yeah, it was a Hard Rock at the Kokitlam.
It's right there on the waterfront.
And those guys, I met those guys when they were such really, really good guys, the promoters.
Did they have you stay at that shithole hotel where it smells like fish?
No.
Thank God, dude. I went there. I'm like, there's like a fish, like it smells like like rotten fish. Just every time I went outside, man. And they're like, yeah, the hotel's closing down like in 3 days as soon as you guys are gone.
There's some promotions that like they set you up in a hotel and like we were kind of shocked. We were with some of the youth competitors and this was here in California and they like put us in a hotel and like the first thing we see as we're walking up with these young people that we're training is we see a BMW kind of bouncing. Turns out the locals are telling us like, yeah, that's probably not the best place for
the kids. Yeah, God. You know, that's been like like going up to no hate on Mike Hamoud. That was a great event. He took care of us big time. Yeah, he's great.
They were very, very generous. They were very generous.
Vancouver's funny. For anybody that's like grew up in the U.S., I remember like I don't know if it's still like this, but like the pay stations for parking, there's no like arm to stop you from going. It's like put your money in the box and drive away. I'm like, dude, if that shit was in America, they'd be broke.
Yeah. It was a polite suggestion.
Yeah. that was.
If you feel like it, go ahead.
Yeah. But it was funny. I have a story about that. My bank, I'm pretty sure I'm on a list somewhere. Because I didn't know him as Mike Hamoud. I didn't know it was Muhammad Hamoud. Mm-hmm. So I get him. He transferred money for the travel and stuff. And my bank calls me and it's like, hey, we need to talk to you. I'm like, about what? They're like, you're on a recorded line. Da, da, da. And they're like, you have a transfer from a Muhammad Hamoud. I'm like, I don't know Muhammad. They're like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then you're like, and I hit up Mike. I'm like, hey, Mike, what's your actual first name? He's like, oh, it's Muhammad. I'm like, oh, man, you put me on the list, bro. He's a great guy, and he's always talking. That I have to respect that promoter hustle. Yeah. Did he have his like earpiece in when he's with you guys talking the whole time?
I think so. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he did. He was always got something. You could tell he had a lot of brands and fire.
Yeah, that guy.
Irons and fire.
Yeah. How many have you been up there after that?
I have not. It was just that one time we did that, and at that particular year, I got an opportunity to train in corner. It didn't always work out. We did some traveling, but I was in Canada, Thailand, New York, San Diego, Arizona, Anaheim, and then all over the Bay Area. It was just probably the most active year I ever had, and I think after that, just kind of tapered off.
Good. You deserve it. That's why you don't have as many gray hairs. Yeah, for me, I was like, just pile like 5 more years of that on. That was me. I was like, I went to China and I came back and I was in Thailand like a month later. It was stupid, but like also worth it.
Yeah, it's your life resume is amazing though.
Yeah,
right? How many people can say they did that?
No, I got very lucky though. But that's why like you guys didn't have it that easy, and that's where it's like those opportunities weren't there. It's the same thing that like we're doing now. We have like these tournaments. You have TBA, you have USMTO. WKA,
the opportunity to compete on whatever organization a platform is just readily available now.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
and then
it was smokers. It was an 8x11 thing that the whoever the admin person of the day was put together, printed out on their printer,
and they said you're going to fight this guy.
And then you walked in and you gave them some information. You stepped on the scale together. You guys are close enough. They threw you in the ring, and if they couldn't find somebody, they dragged someone out of the crowd who was
trained. Yeah, hey, do you want to fight? Like they're doing those kinds of things.
Yeah. There's no medical staff on board. No nothing. That's probably why the things that kind of went to. That's probably why things are now where they are. They had to have someone who regulates things. I mean, obviously, they wanted some protection. I mean, I remember going to an event, and in the first round, you can imagine what this must have been like for people who are going to their first smoker event. The first round, the guy gets head kicked and drops and won't wake up for 5 minutes.
Oh shit!
And I think that
you were being irresponsible with with what we had, right?
Yeah. I mean, it
happened.
It was a solid kick. It was good technique. And in the person who threw its defense, the other guy came in like hot-headed with a lot to say, and fought a little dirty, and so he put him to sleep. Just it wasn't, but it was before what we have now. It was before whatever sanctioning body stepped in and said, hey, this is dangerous, we need to make sure that, and whatever other reasons and motivations they may have had.
Well, what was crazy is the state of California had every opportunity in the book to start sanctioning it. Every opportunity. They did. Like, CSAC did some stuff a while, but there wasn't enough activity for them to make it worthwhile financially for them. But when they started seeing all these smokers pop up, they realized they weren't making money. Yeah. So that's where they started really cracking down.
I was trying to be diplomatic.
You don't have. I mean,
absolutely.
It's money. I mean, for people that don't know, like, CSAC is under the Department of Consumer Affairs. As people, there it is. That's money. Money for the state.
Everybody wants their piece.
Exactly.
It's doing well. I want my piece.
Yeah. Hey, you guys are doing really good. Hey, so where's my money?
But the funny thing is, now you look at all that, and they didn't think it was a big enough effort to want to do all this stuff. And now it's on the table for an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
So, like,
I hope something like that happens. Also, at the same time, I hope it doesn't get ruined. And that way, like, you see, we have World Games qualifiers coming up, which is cool. But then, like, I see some of the stuff from an officiating standpoint, how it could be getting pushed towards what we're seeing happen with USA boxing right now. So, or just with Olympic boxing, you saw they took boxing out of the Olympics because of corruption. All right, and do you know where the corruption was from?
I don't.
From the Russian team. This is the Russian referees. So one of the biggest ring official groups in IFMA. I may get barred for this. I don't fucking care. Whatever. I'm not that important. But is the biggest ring official team in IFMA is Russians. And the biggest proponents in IFMA are Team Russia. They could literally have a whole tournament themselves, and it would look like a world championship because how many people were there, right? Have you been to the IFMA tournament?
I have not.
Yeah, so I went one time. We sponsored the Team USA. I went there, and just seeing, like, the amount of people in Russia and the amount of Russian ring officials, it was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, they're very involved. But then you see this stuff happen with boxing, and you see some of the rule changes that are being pushed by it. I can see it's a very slippery slope.
It's like anything. It's like you want to see it grow, you want to see it succeed, but it gets to the point where it gets so big. And then the different elements with different motivation. It starts off with good intention, and things start just to kind of deteriorate. It just gets to the point where you can't control all the facets, and then you're going to bring in some of those negative facets. And just like you said, it gets so big that inevitably you get some bad apples.
Yeah.
And that does concern me. Like the enjoyment of I just want to come in, I just want to train for whatever. Everybody can just come train for whatever reasons, but then you're going to get all this, I don't know, all these different elements in it. Influence it, and I worry that it's just going to take away from it somehow.
Yeah, and the only time we'll kind of tell with that, right?
I'm excited for the growth, but I have my concerns of what the cons of
that growth,
big growth, have brought to other sports.
You know, I always make a joke. It's like the Muay. You're gonna have, like, fast forward in a few years, you have like a Muay Thai bro, because it's like, man, do we want that? It's like you want them to understand the culture.
Yeah. So. I worry. I mean, I've gone from back to back from a Muay Thai event to an MMA event, and I absolutely positively. It can be the crowd and what it draws and the culture behind it is absolutely night and day.
Is she with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can start wrapping it up. I know you guys got to get going and stuff, but how can people find you?
Instagram.
What's your Instagram? What's it called?
DG Combat Sports Club.
Okay, you'll send it to me. I'll put it in the show notes for the podcast and stuff, man. But thanks for coming by and visiting us. It's nice to meet you in person and stuff too.
Absolutely. You guys, thank you for allowing me. I mean, I'm a little guy in a big ocean.
Yeah, I mean, that can go for all of us, though. So, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your time in the SB.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys are listening on iTunes, please go leave a review. It means the world to me if you enjoy the content, if you like hearing about all the stuff that has to do with Muay Thai and what we're doing. Also, there's another way to support us. If you guys visit our Patreon link, it's in the show notes. Also on our YouTube, if you go to pmtlifestyle.com, there's a Patreon link up at the top. You can support us for as little as $5 a month. To get some behind-the-scenes footage, things of that nature, to see what we're doing behind the scenes for Pu'u Muay Thai, what we're trying to get going. Also, you can get some early access clips. You can also get t-shirts, merchandise, and a few other things as perks of being a patron. Again, go check that out. It's at pmtlifestyle.com.